back for the very first time today to the Queensland State Netball Centre for the HART Sapphire Series for 2019. It's semi-final day. My name's David. Unfortunately, I'm joining commentary by absolutely no one, so you're stuck with my dulcet tones for the conclusion of this match. We've got a great match here this afternoon. It's a 3v4 match. The winner goes on to the prelim final next week. The loser takes home, well, absolutely nothing, and they won't be back at all for this season. The 3v4 match, of course, is between the Ipswich Jets and the Bull Sharks. The last Bond University Bull Sharks and the Ipswich Jets, formerly from the Lions District. And the last time these two teams met, it was just 2 weeks ago. And as a result, the Sharks took the biscuits on the occasion 60-54. And the first time they met earlier in the season, the Jets were 53 over the Sharks 43. The Ipswich Jets lineup there: Charlie Bell is the shooter, Lucy Benjamin is the GA, Stephanie O'Brien the wing attack, Brooke Hams centre, Leah Woolnoe is the wing defence, Siobhan Sherlaw is the goal defence, and Bridie Condren is the goalkeeper. The base, you can probably hear the teams getting called out over the special effects. For the Bull Sharks, Sergey Berger is the goal shooter, Riley Burns the goal attack, Jade Gaffer is the wing attack, Kristen Oxenford the centre, Peter Coles to wing defence. And the Sharks look like they've made a sneaky change on us. The keeper is Grant.
Sinead Grant.
Everything's in readiness. I've actually been joined in commentary by Karen Top. Karen, thank you.
Hi, David. Great to see you.
Cut it very fine.
Just been finishing off a coaching workshop with our coaches for the 16s and 18s.
Excellent. So the umpires for this game is Cara Wennerbrom, Claire Johnson, and the third umpire is Jess Lakeman. So Toppy, should be a good game. This 3v4. Loser goes home. Thoughts?
Yeah, both teams have been playing particularly well in the weeks leading into finals, so we're looking forward to strong movement patterns. Ipswich will be looking to shut down Siggy Berger at goal shooter as much as they can, and the Jets will be looking to get some consistency through their attacking end.
So I'm just going to go through the Sharks lineup. We've had some late changes from what was on your screen. It's Berger, Siggy Berger is the goal shooter, Leah Pooh is the goal attack, Riley Burns the wing attack, Jada Gaffer is the centre, Kristen Oxenford is your wing defence, and the back two, Stridham and Grant. So, what are your thoughts on this match, prediction-wise? Who do you think will win?
I think it's going to be particularly close. So I'm looking forward to both teams playing well. My understanding is there was just a draw in one of the Ruby Series games prior to. So
absolutely, went to overtime.
Yes, while as coaches, having a drawn game is always a challenge. It's great for the crowds.
When there was quite a crowd in today.
Yeah, it's awesome. As I said, our 16s and 18s state titles are starting here tomorrow at the Queensland State Netball Centre. And we've got lots of our teams in from around the state. And so many of them are in the crowd today. It's great for them to see what's happening here in the Sapphire and the Ruby Series games.
So the ball goes in. That's actually Baker at GA for the Jets. We've had a lot of changes to the sheets we were given.
They're just wanting to keep you on your toes, David, and to get up to speed with the players. Great take from Brooke Harms under pressure from Sinead Grant. And Sinead did a great job as keeper of being able to have a challenge at that ball and then get back into great rebounding position.
So the last time these two teams met was only 2 weeks ago. It was a 60-54 win to the Sharks. The shooting percentage for Sharks incredible, 60 out of 63 for the match.
Yeah, Siggy Berger, since she's come back from the World Cup where she played for South Africa, has been amazing in that goal shooter position. She's made a significant difference to the scoring abilities for the Bull Sharks.
Well, she gets their second. It's 2-2, early stages, first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see how Leah Pugh goes in front at goal attack. She has been there for most of the season. When Leah's taking strong drives into the circle and backs a shot, she can be on song. She needs to have the confidence to do that more often, particularly if they're double teaming Siggy Berger at goal shooter.
Absolutely. The transition game, very important for the Jets. Last week they were really good. On cue here, they not so good. And throw it over the sideline.
One of those challenges early in the match where Rosie Baker just getting caught behind her player, driving into the pocket, whereas you really want her to be using her footwork and driving back towards the ball.
Absolutely, and don't forget you can join us on the Facebook with the Netball Queensland Facebook. Drop us a line. Great to see huge numbers we've been getting for these broadcasts, Toppy.
It is. That was really good work from Bridie Condren as well. As that ball was delivered into Siggy Burgos, Bridie was able to keep her body really straight and be able to get a touch on that ball, and the Jets have now been able to convert.
And Lucy Benjamin is now at the centre spot, at the goal shooter spot.
Yeah, Lucy, they've been working with Lucy at goal attack in front of Charlie Bell as well, so it'll be interesting to see what substitutions that both coaches make as this game goes on. Lucy would probably say that she feels more comfortable at goal shooter, but she's certainly been challenging herself to get out and play goal attack this season.
So 4-2 to the Jets, responded there too by the Bull Sharks. And Jets looking the steadier of the two at the moment. And as I say that, they throw it over the baseline. I'll stop talking.
Commentator's curse, David.
Yeah, I'll stop it.
Yes, usually Steph O'Brien is ever reliable when she's delivering that pass. Just on that occasion, not quite connecting with Lucy in the shooting circle.
So,
Jets will be hoping to put a heap of pressure on players.
just like that.
Yeah.
Force the turnover.
Leah will know throughout the season she's just so dogged and determined in wing defence. She has her hands over every ball, and on that occasion was able to get a tip. And Jada Gaffer then just wanting to return the favour. Unfortunately just being called for a replayed ball. Lucy's looking steadier on her shot today, which is always fantastic. When she's in that mindset, usually her shooting percentages are much higher.
So a hell ball there forces another turnover for the Jets. They've had 3 and scored a full 3 so far today. Unfortunately, there's been a couple of them, which hasn't helped the lead.
Yeah. And again, just Rosie Baker probably needing to do a little bit more work in that corner. The Sharks look like they were playing a split circle in defence and just not able to get the ball through to Lucy.
Stridham had a great game last week.
Oh, for me, she's had an amazing game. Every time I've been able to watch what they're doing, I've been really impressed with her work rate and her ability to get her hands on ball.
Hands on ball.
David.
Gee, missed that one. So, unfortunate. The curse is going well today. So, well, for me, I think the Jets will probably be too strong in this one. I'm tipping them by 27.
27?
Well, I'm the old Lions coach back in the day, remember? So
you are the old Lions coach, and we do know you won a premiership with the Lions in one of those
let's not talk about it.
Old competitions.
Nothing like this. Much more professional these days.
The competitions have come such a long way from dairy farmers, which it was back then.
Yes, indeed. We used to look fantastic in our white dairy farmer shirts. That's all we got back in those days.
Yes.
Now it's very semi-professional, and it is a magnificent product Netball Queensland have put on the park this year.
Yeah, and as you were saying, like Jonte Stridham is from South Africa, as is Siggy Burger, so those opportunities for international players to come in, for the Queensland players to get to play with them and to continue to develop their game.
It's becoming an international game. If you look at the Suncorp Super Netball, it's
absolutely
spot the Australian now, isn't it?
Yes.
There's so many foreigners playing in it. Comp's red hot. MVPs of tournaments are not from this land anymore. Is it good for Australian netball or is it good for the world game? Who knows?
There's that challenge on so many levels. Hopefully that the Australian players see it as a challenge and continue to develop their game and to step up so that they're demanding those positions for themselves. I think at the World Cup we saw that the competition was fantastic between all of the countries.
True that.
And personally, I want to see the game of netball be amazing. I'd still like our Australian players to continue to have opportunities to develop.
Great shot there by Berger. Sherlaw unlucky on the turnover, got called for it. Margin is 1. We've played just halfway through the first quarter, 7.5 gone. Yeah, the sport is growing in both the sexes and across the world. So it's a big positive. Oh, clash of bodies on the ground. No call from the umpire. Baker makes no mistake.
It's between Sinead Grant and Lucy Benjamin. Both at times can look a little uncoordinated with what they're doing, and just on that occasion getting their legs tangled. Well, thankfully, both got up and
both tall young lasses, something you and I don't worry about. So
yes,
Pewey, the long shot, a bit too far, and comes up for the Jets. Well, this is a chance for them to get a 3-goal lead. They haven't led by that much for the entire match. Margin's been 2 since about the 4th minute mark. Good control being shown here.
Leah Woolnough in goal defence at the moment. She offers so much as a defender when they're in attack. Driving down court strong.
Loose pass by Benjamin. Stryden picks it up. Probably should have taken the shot, stepped in, taken the shot. A bit far for you, think? I've seen her shoot with range.
Yeah, Lucy does tend to like a closer shot. It's probably Rosie Baker at the moment needs to do a little bit more in her prelim movements. Stryden's really playing a tight one-on-one at the moment, so Rosie Baker's got great speed. Potentially Stryden does match that as well, so it's that chess match throughout the whole game around.
Do love a good game of chess.
So
Berger with the uncharacteristic miss gives the Jets another chance to build on this margin. Benjamin caught high again. This time she drops back. They throw to a double team. Good work by Baker. Benjamin under the hoop. She should make no mistake, and does. So Stridham saves me there. Well done, Lucy. So another goal there. Makes the margin 3. Biggest lead of the game to the Jets, Karen Top.
Yeah, Sinead Grant did a really good job with her footwork of being able to cover the front position, but just not quite able to keep her feet in the end. And it does look like she's come off.
There's a new goalkeeper on for the Bulls.
Abigail
the
Houston.
Houston?
Yeah. So Abigail's one of the under-17 players. Unfortunately, she did a knee just before Nationals this year. Thankfully, has been able to recover
That's a
well.
quick recovery. Nationals was in April time?
She did a meniscus rather than an ACL.
Not the full.
No.
So Brian picks up the scraps there. Jets do the best to throw it away. Umpire helps him out. And they're off again. A lot of balls being dropped into the pocket. Baker. A little bit far for her. Houston with it now.
Rosie has a fantastic shot. Just at the moment, I feel like Stridham's doing so much work that Rosie's potentially second-guessing herself, that she needs to go back to being confident in what she's doing and deliver those balls.
And another turnover there. This time it's with the goalkeeper.
Bridie Condren. Yeah, Bridie's been a training partner with the Firebirds this season. She was part of the team on a couple of occasions throughout the year. Didn't get any court time with the Firebirds. She's from Mackay originally. She's one of the few players that I've seen throughout the season that's actually able to match Siggy Berger in height, and is making that delivery to Berger in the circle quite challenging.
So 3 in a row to the Jets gives them a 9-5 lead. They've created another turnover there through their held ball this time. Great defensive teamwork. Benjamin, brilliant setup there. Goes to the hoop. Another goal.
She was set up much better there ball side on that occasion, so the pass that came in was in a good position as well.
And not surprising, we see the Bond Uni Bull Sharks taking a timeout. So we've got 3:32 to play. We have a timeout, margin 10-5 to the Jets, Karen Top.
Yeah, and in finals, no longer needing bonus points in the games.
First past the post.
It is. But I would assume that the Jets would be happy with that 5-goal lead at the moment.
Supercoach Tracy Jeans would be having a chat.
Yeah, what do you think would be some of the key things she'd be talking to her players about?
Geez, the commentary's good. It's really picked up since that Dave guy come on. She'd be saying, I'd say just more control in the front end. There was, I think it was O'Brien threw a couple away there over the baseline, probably telling Benjamin to position herself better so that the feed's more obvious. As a coach, I don't like a moving circle that much. I like a tall to hold strong so that, it's easier to hit a still target than a moving target. And I think that's pretty much what they're doing. She'd be very happy with the defence. They keep turning the ball over. They've only allowed 5 in nearly 12 minutes of netball. That's pretty impressive effort. And they've created, just looking at the stats there, 7 turnovers, and they've converted 6 of them. So pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're good percentages on those turnover conversions. One of the things, as coaches, it's like, what sort of stats do we keep and then what's a benefit for us? And certainly that turnover conversion is one that is good to keep an eye on.
Which, in a secret, it's the only stat I keep. I don't worry about any of the others because they mean nothing, but that conversion turnover is the one stat I hound as a coach. So
absolutely.
So Jets get us back underway through Hams. She finds O'Brien. Again, hitting the circle this time. That might be the message that came from Tracy Jeans-Fraser.
And for both teams, I think if they can hit the circle edge, it's way more effective in feeding the shooters.
Great work there by Baker. She misses a shot, follows it in, runs down the rebound, looks for Benjamin this time.
It's much better positioning than from Lucy on that occasion, being able to turn her body and create that space where they could drop the ball into it, away from where the defence was.
It's a margin of 6. It's starting to look like the AFL Grand Final.
Oh,
you didn't see the result of that?
I haven't seen the result of the AFL today.
I stopped watching it 3/4 time when the margin was about 60. So
okay. Should I assume who won?
I think everyone knows who won. The Mighty Tigers. Not that I'm a fan. Interestingly, I know we're not talking about AFL, but Brisbane Lions lost to both grand finalists. How's that in the final series?
Interesting.
So the Bull Sharks with the ball now. Nice pass into Berger.
That was a really strong drive into the circle from Leah Pewee. It dragged the defenders away and created that backspace for Siggy Berger. So that was probably one of the easier feeds that they've had.
So they've had to work very hard, haven't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Benjamin creates some space, drives to the base. And another goal there, Stridham not happy. And margin, double the score, 12-6. We've got 2:37 to play.
So the Bull Sharks have made some changes because we've got Kristen Oxenford into centre and Jada Gaffer's moved into wing attack. And Peter Coles has come into wing defence.
And of course, that's how we thought they were going to line up, but late changes to their lineup.
Yeah. So Lucy now just looks like she feels like she's got a bit more space, and with that, she's also more willing to take the longer shot.
Yeah, she's starting high and then working her way into towards the goal line quite well, and doing a front cut when she needs to, and knocking Stridham down at the same time.
And able to follow that one in for the rebound on that occasion.
Can't coach height, can you? So, and two of the triple Bs, Benjamin and Baker, are doing a great job.
Yeah, it does look like Sinead Grant is getting some treatment at the moment in the background. So for the Bull Sharks, they'll be wanting to...
Got cleaned up twice, didn't she? Or clash of bodies twice, I should say.
Yeah. So they need to work with Abby Houston and Stridham in the circle at the moment. And for those guys, just to figure out how can they shut some of that space down. Abby Houston gives away a little bit of height to Lucy Benjamin.
Most of us do.
Yes.
Stridham gets the touch on that one, gives the Bull Sharks a chance to get another late one before the quarter-time break. Margin 7, had a chance to go to 8. Great pass into Berger.
It was a really good front position from Berger on that occasion, which let her feeders put that strong, hard flat ball in.
15 seconds. Sharks looking, shooter comes out of the circle, not ideal. Can't get back in now, being clogged up, gets it high, works it in, brilliant play by Berger. And then the foul, probably not the best thing to do with 2 seconds left on the clock.
No. Brody and Condren had done a pretty good job trying to keep Siggy Berger high. It just maybe needed to work her feet to challenge that ball as it came in.
So with 3 late goals there to this Bull Sharks, they cut the margin back to 5. It was as much as 8, 14-9 first quarter. Jets would be happy. We'll get your thoughts after we come back after this short break.
Sounds great.
Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for this third versus fourth HART Sapphire Series 2019 match between the magnificent Ipswich Jets versus the Bond University Bull Sharks. My name's Dave Mills. I'm joined in commentary by Netball Queensland coaching guru Karen Toppy. 14-9, good start for the Jets.
Yeah, certainly lots of good work in attack. Probably a little bit rushed early on, but it felt like they settled into the rhythm as that quarter continued. That they also had really good defensive pressure happening. They were able to hold the Bull Sharks to only 6 goals for about 10 minutes in that quarter. Bull Sharks just starting to get their combinations towards the end of the quarter, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out after the break.
So the Bull Sharks have hit 9 goals, all of them to Berger, 9 out of 10, 90%. 0 out of 2 to Leah Pewey. Would you be looking for the GA to do more work?
Yeah, always. We know that the Jets already have been sitting on Siggy Berger for the majority of that first quarter and really confusing the space, and the Sharks feeders have been having trouble getting the ball into her. So we need Leah to be driving into the circle hard, trying to pull the defenders off and then to actually be confident on the shot.
So for the Jets, 11 out of 13 to Lucy Benjamin and 3 out of 5 to Rosie Baker. And Benjamin under the hoop gets us away for the second quarter.
Yeah, she just was made as if to drive to top of the circle and then drop back to the post, and thankfully the feeders picked up on that movement quite effectively.
So after an 8-1 run to the Jets, the Bull Sharks got the last 3 in the first quarter, which cut the margin to 5. So would you make any changes if you're the Sharks, or have they sort of played their card by moving Oxenden back to centre and Coles run at wing defence?
As we saw in the first quarter, I don't think they've got much choice in their defensive end at the moment, because we're seeing Shanae Grant still receiving some treatment at the moment. Does look like Sharks have made a change in that they've moved Riley Burns into goal attack. So Riley, given her speed and her change of direction, I think that's one of the things I'll be looking for, is for her to drive into the circle harder.
And the wing attack seems to be, is that Pewey?
No, Leah Pewey's on the sideline, so it's Jada Gaffer that's sitting in a wing attack at the moment.
Look at me learning names and faces.
It does take a while, and the challenge is that their names on their dresses are not particularly big, and sometimes you've got to wait for the player to have their back towards us so that we can pick up what those names are.
Something to look into for next year.
Yes. As the season's gone on, it's been easier to spot who the players are on court as those rolling substitutions happen.
I only got invited in round 12, so
yeah.
Came on a bit late. So another turnover there gives the Bull Sharks a chance. High zone being set at the moment by the Jets. They've pushed them all to one side.
Yeah, they've been working really hard in defence from the beginning, so it's that challenge of being able to consistently do that across each of the quarters. And that's just one of those examples there of Riley Burns driving particularly hard. Riley did start more as a goal attack, but as she's made her way into the under-17 state teams, has been making the transition into wing attack and centre. However, she still plays very effectively in goal attack when required.
And she featured there again in that great play into Berger.
Yeah.
So they've scored 2 in a row. The margin back to 5. They're hanging in there, the Bull Sharks.
And with Siggy Berger's strength at goal shooter, we do know that the Sharks can score quickly when they're getting their attack on song. So they'll still feel confident. As we know, 5 goals is only 2 turnovers in reality.
So, and there's one of them right there. Double teamed Benjamin on that occasion, and they couldn't get the ball in the circle.
Leah Pugh is now on at wing attack, so another of those rolling subs.
Predicted that.
It also looks like Siobhan Shilowa is on the court, and she's come into wing defence.
Yep, and I think Mulno's at GD.
Yes.
And feed into Benjamin at her feet.
Yeah. Stratton was working really hard on the body.
She's looking on song today, Lucy Benjamin. Should we annoy her and call Lucinda? No comment. Okay. So Oxen with it.
Sorry, I was watching the play on court.
It's because it's excellent.
Yes.
Burns gets another one. She's made a difference in that GA spot.
She has.
She's taken 2 already this quarter for 2 successes. First quarter, there was no production out of the goal attack. Baker drives nicely. Oh, rings out. She's missed a few.
Yeah.
Transition time for the Sharks. Oxenford pulls it in, showing all that experience from when she was at the Firebirds.
Yeah. Kristen's very strong in the air and was able to pull the ball hard and then keep her balance when she landed. I'm not sure she knew which foot. Was a grounded foot on that occasion.
Sharks doing the hard yards. Margin of 4. It was as much as 8.
If they can turn this one over, then they'll be back within 3, and that's completely doable.
Oh, and they did turn it over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so...
Brady Condren was out having a go at that ball around the circle edge and just put enough pressure on to force the error through the pass.
So,
Sharks are also doing a lot of work in defence at the moment, really trying to clog that space. Jets also getting caught down one side of the court.
Indeed.
Just able to change that up now.
A loose pass from O'Brien. She's had a few today.
Well, I'm not sure that was a loose pass.
Drop ball?
No, I actually feel like that she'd made eye contact with Rosie Baker, and then after that happened, Rosie started to move off in the opposite direction, so it's that challenge.
Well, all is forgiven because she got the intercept back. Creates a turnover back for the Jets.
Steph O'Brien does that quite regularly. If something doesn't quite go to plan, she usually gets straight back in defence and quite often forces that turnover. We've got another rolling substitution happening with Charlie Bell coming in to goal shooter for the Ipswich Jets. And Rosie Baker stayed on at goal attack at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see whether she stays out there or whether Lucy Benjamin comes into goal attack, which is what they had been doing. So
the third of the Triple Bs is on. Fortunately, turns it over straight off the bat. A little bit scrappy at the moment, Karen.
Yeah, both teams, we're about halfway through this quarter. Both teams have just putting a lot of defensive pressure on and the attacks and not quite figured out what to do. Yeah, and as I thought, Lucy Benjamin's come into goal attack.
So Baker goes off. She's had a reasonably good game, a little bit scratchy on the shots, but has played well. Set it up nicely for Benjamin.
So, with Lucy and Charlie in there, they've now got a lot of additional height. The challenge will be for Charlie Bell to find the hold. Stridham. That was an awesome challenge on that ball in the air.
So
any ball floating into that corner, in previous weeks, she's just been able to pick those off.
So margin of 6. Jets have settled. Nearly a hell ball. They've created the turnover anyway.
Yeah, and good work from Leah Woolnough chasing that ball towards the sideline, knowing that she couldn't quite control it on her own, but able to just push it off to a friend.
Another great save by O'Brien.
And it's that backup of your teammate, of seeing that, they might actually need some help, and if you chase after them, that they can tip a ball to you.
So Bell makes a margin 7. Biggest it's been is 8. That was just before the quarter time break.
That's probably one of the easiest passages of play that the Jets have had all game, where strong work off the line for the centre pass. Great second phase drive from Steph O'Brien towards the top of the circle and able to connect with Charlie Bell really easily. Bull Sharks have made further changes with Leah Pewey coming back into goal attack and Jada Gaffer into wing attack.
I thought Burns was doing well.
Yeah, she did certainly add some dynamic movement through the shooting circle for them.
So back to the biggest lead of the game. Sorry, it's now 9, so that is the biggest lead of the game. Jets on a bit of a roll at the moment, having scored the last 5.
Yeah.
They've made some seamless changes in the offensive end.
They have, and these changes have certainly made a difference. McKeely Hosh has also come into centre for the Jets. So McKeely's quite a tall centre. She moves quite effortlessly. Another of our players that have moved from regional Queensland to the Big Smoke for university and been playing with the Jets.
And speaking of the Jets, getting a lot of support on Facebook at the moment. Most of the people sending us messages, go Jets. Go umpire Cara Winterborn. That's an unusual one.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Mr. Coles is watching his sister play for the Bull Sharks at the moment. So, great to have you on board, Colesy.
Well, the umpires do a lot of work, and for them it's also a great acknowledgement to get these semi-final matches. Cara attended the 17s and 19s Nationals this year, which were held in Brisbane, and Claire Johnson, who's on the other side of the court, attained her A badge a few weeks ago, so she's been working particularly hard for that award.
Excellent work. So, Jets create another turnover.
It was good pressure around the circle edge, just forcing that mishandle of the ball. Strong movement into the circle.
Benjamin gets another one. She definitely looks on song today.
Yeah.
At either spot.
Yeah. She probably wasn't happy with her form a few weeks ago, and it looks like she's been doing a lot of work. Looks like she's more settled with what she's doing on court at the moment. And because she's driving so hard, she's keeping her cold defence busy. They're not able to double team Charlie Bell.
This is where I take credit, because she did contact me through the week.
Did she?
Just saying, yeah. But anyway.
You were providing coaching advice this week, David?
Absolutely not, actually. She just said hello. So, but we could have let the viewers assume that, but no. You had to shoot me down, Toppy. So the Bull Sharks working hard, get it to Berger. She's the go-to girl from at the moment. She gets their 15th, margin 11. We've got 4 to play, second quarter. All to do for the Sharks at the moment. Jets looking comfortable, Karen Top.
At this point in time, they are. At no stage in these SSM matches can you ease off, because the other teams are so talented that they can get the scoreline changing really quickly.
So Bell gives away a contact call there. Didn't see it myself. Doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Just from this angle, it looked like the umpire was indicating that Charlie pushed off as she made that movement.
And you're 7'3", you don't need to push off much.
No.
So
we might need to say that Charlie's 6'5" rather than 7'3".
That's Junior Levy. I'm getting mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
So Berger with it now. She'll get a shot here. And just like they did in the first quarter, they're finishing the quarter strong. And we have a timeout this time to the Jets. Tracy Jean's not happy with what she's seeing. Gets the crew together. It's
interesting, and would be good to have conversations with coaches at some stage around their technical timeouts. It's certainly something.
The roving camera.
It's something that we've spoken with the SSN coaches about throughout the year at our Get in the Know coaching and umpiring workshops. Different coaches use the tactical timeouts differently. Sometimes it might be around the other teams getting a roll on. Sometimes it might be to just make adjustments in the attacking or the defensive plans. Sometimes it might be to change momentum. Sometimes it's just for everyone to come off and take a breath.
So in this situation, you think Jets would be just taking a breath? Because
well,
they're doing well.
In some respects,
20.
yeah, they'd been working really hard. We saw that the connections weren't possibly working as well as they'd like early on in the quarter. They made some rolling substitution changes. Those changes have, I think, worked quite well for them. They'd pushed it out to 12, and then the Sharks have just come back probably in the last minute or two. So potentially just to say, hey, these are the things that have been really working for us in attack. Let's go back to doing those.
So just in that shot there, it looked like Shanae Grant may not be taking any further part. She's got that ankle heavily iced. She's on the bench now.
Yeah.
Can't see her coming back.
At this stage, I'd suggest it's probably unlikely. She has got a shoe off. So it looks like the Sharks have made some more changes with Riley Burns going into centre.
They're trying to find the right combination.
Yeah. And it's a knockout final at this point in time, so they need to try every different avenue that they can
So
to find those combinations.
Looks like Oxford's gone back to wing defence.
Yes.
So
they've now got lots of speed and lots of youth in their attacking end. Part of it will be, can they find the consistency? Can they get onto the circle edge more effectively to then deliver the ball to their strong shooter in Siggy Berger?
Right.
I do feel like Bridie Condren's been doing an awesome job in shutting that space down. That was fantastic vision from Steph O'Brien to see Charlie Bell underneath the post.
Cracked it in. Another turnover here gives the Jets a chance to build on this 10-goal margin, 28-18. We've got 2:39 to play.
Smart work by Makili Hosh there on the circle edge, seeing that both the Sharks defences had dropped back on Charlie Bell. Lucy Benjamin did the right thing as a goal attack and drove into the circle really hard and took that space and then was confident to put the shot up.
So the ball still with the Jets. Benjamin on the edge. Works her way to the goal line.
It's also easier for Lucy to back herself to put that longer ball up when Charlie's there and getting good rebounding position.
The Triple Bs, they're doing well. Bell and, of course, Benjamin at present. Baker's done a good job when she was out there.
Yeah.
So
Leah Woolnote just getting called on that occasion, that challenge from behind, rather than getting her feet around and being able to challenge more from the side or the front. Pinpoint accuracy, great work from Siggy Berger to balance there for that.
No margin for error.
No.
Cuts the lead back to 11. So people from all over Australia currently watching us. Don't be afraid to drop us a line. If you've got a question, Toppy will take care of you.
That was fantastic work from Charlie Bell. It's an area, being such a tall player, that she's had to work on was her balance, particularly if she's gone up in the air and if she's taking that shot from out of court. She's come such a long way. We know that our taller shooters take a while.
So, indeed. And ball with the Jets. O'Brien looks in, finds Benjamin on the goal line. She finds Bell. Not a lot of answers for the Bull Sharks at the moment. And margin is 13, biggest of the match. 20 seconds to play. Jets with it. They'll want one more. So you'd have to say the timeout worked well for them. Gave yourself up there, Benjamin.
She did.
She might have got away with that replay.
I do need to give a shout out to my friends who are from Gladstone who are sending through a message on Facebook. I, in my role, get to spend a lot of time travelling around this fantastic state and working with our coaches everywhere. So to Casey and to Sam and to Joe in Gladstone, they are asking if this is Toppy's Tips. They did suggest that I do some podcasts in my role, and it is something we're looking at, perhaps not with that particular name.
Cool.
But it's great to have our regional people joining us as well.
Indeed, from Timmy Marshall and Victoria. So an 18-10 quarter there gives the margin of 32-19 to the Ipswich Jets, looking very comfortable at half-time. What will happen in the second half? All will be revealed when we come back after this short break.
Well, just before we go to break, when you're saying that Timmy Marshall's online, we're really excited because Tim is going to be coming and joining us for our coaching and officials forum that we're having here at Queensland State Netball Centre on the 26th of October. On the Friday, we're having the Queensland Sports Collective, which people can join us. And then Tim, in his role as umpire, is doing 2 umpiring workshops on the Sunday. So we're really looking forward to having Tim with us for a couple of days and sharing his knowledge.
Excellent work. We'll see Timmy soon, and we'll see you just after these breaks. Welcome back, Queensland State Netball Centre. It's HART Sapphire Series semi-final time for 2019. This is 3v4, Ipswich Jets versus Bond University Bull Sharks. Toppy, we've seen a pretty incredible game thus far. Jets got out of the blocks quickly, 32-19 on the back of an 18-10 second quarter. Your thoughts at half-time, Toppy?
I think that the Jets have been more settled in their attack, and their rolling substitutions have been more effective than the Sharks at this point in time.
Well, you'd have to say with the centre pass conversion of 79% to 52, that would definitely support what you just said about their seamless transition in offence.
Yeah, and for the Sharks, one of their key things is being able to feed their shooter Siggy Berger, and at the moment they're just probably struggling to get onto the circle edge and to be able to feed her effectively. So, in saying that, I think Bridie Condren, our goalkeeper for the Jets, has been doing an amazing job of moving her feet around and really shutting that space down.
Absolutely, she has. Shooting percentage is fairly similar, but with the height of the Jets side, they seem to be getting more of their rebounds, so if they miss it, they tend to pick up the scraps, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you indicated earlier, those turnover conversions for the Jets, being able to score off 94% of their turnovers compared to the Sharks at 54%, that's an amazing stat. One, they're keeping their centre passes, and two, they're scoring off pretty much every turnover they get. So that makes it really tough for the Sharks.
Yeah, they've got it all to do. Like, just to bring the viewers at home up to date, this is 3v4. Winner goes on to the prelim final. They will play the loser of the next game that we've got coming up at 7:20. You and I are back for that. And, of course, the loser is finished for the season. No biscuits for them.
Yeah. And, look, the Sharks, they've got the youngest team in the competition. In this game, their keeper, Shanae Grant, took a bit of a tumble earlier. It looks like she's got some ice on her ankle at this point in time. And they're probably just finding some challenges about getting their consistency with a young playing group on court. They have opportunities. We've seen them come back in previous games. So it will be interesting after that break of whether they can effectively get on the circle edge.
Well, of course, don't forget, like in round 13, just a couple of weeks ago, the Sharks beat the Jets 60-54. First time round, of course, the Jets won 53-43, but that was way earlier in the season. A lot has happened since then, including a World Cup, so it's been a while since they played that first round match. And
able to really take up that front position, able to get in an easier feed to Siggy, and they need to be able to do that more often.
So
the benefits of having a really tall centre in Michaela Hosh for the Jets is being able to pick that really high ball out of the corner.
She did well there. So Sharks working hard they have to work hard to get anything they get from this game.
Yeah.
So.
And it looks like that's part of their plan at the moment is for Siggy Berger to come out of the circle more often, potentially to get Bridie Condren on the move and to create some space. And on that occasion it worked with Leah Pugh able to use the bag space.
Do you think well, for me anyway, I was surprised that they took Burns out of GA, the Bull Sharks, because I thought when she came on, they got a bit of momentum. They were finding Berger easier because she was a threat.
Yeah. Like we said, Riley certainly has lots of speed and lots of mobility. They potentially still were not quite getting the feeds that they wanted, so they've continued to work really hard on how they can get some consistency in their attacking end. That pass not quite coming off. The idea was good.
I thought it was actually off the Jets last. Umpire didn't see it that way. And a few surprise faces in the Bull Sharks uniform.
Stridham doing a really good job there in the in the Jets attacking end of really closing down the space and getting a hand on it. Not quite able to complete pulling the ball in. That was a good longer range shot from Charlie Bell. She usually tends to like to take them much closer to the post, so it's nice to see that she's gaining confidence in taking that longer ball.
And Stridham gets that one, a long ball meant for Bell.
Probably one of those times that you want to say to Lucy at goal attack, just keep looking for another option around the circle edge when Charlie has two people on her.
So held on a little bit long there by Houston, gives Hosh the chance to pick it out of the air, and she does. So
And one of the things that's working really well for the Jets is the fact that they are using that reset back to the transverse line. Siobhan Schuller is doing a great job through wing defence at offering that support at the moment.
Been with the Jets / Lions a long time, Schuller. She was came through the Tier 2 program.
She has.
And now a fixture in this team. Another hell ball there, Burns. They're certainly hanging on to the ball a little bit, aren't they? They're not doing that quick release.
Yeah, and part of that is, I think, because the Jets are really clogging up the space in defence, so they're struggling to find ways to get in front and to take hold of those balls.
So, of course, our next game coming up at 7:20. We'll go live a few minutes before that. Will be the undefeated Cougars up against the second-placed Wildcats. Yep. Battle of the coaches, I'm calling that one. Liz White versus Paula Stewart, arguably two of the greatest coaches we've ever produced here in this state. Yeah. Going head-to-head.
And both are very passionate netball legends here in Queensland.
An understatement, yeah. Liz has been around in this form of competition since it began, I believe.
Yeah, and, you know, Liz herself, a former player, played for the Australian team long before...
Before they were called Diamonds.
Long before they got the name of Diamonds. Very strong mid-court player.
So
has been involved with Downey Park and coaching at Downey Park for a very, very long time as well. Has done a lot of work in their development programs as well as in their performance programs. Been coaching Cougars throughout that time.
Indeed, and had an amazing amount of success, as has Paula Stewart. So I'm looking forward to that match. 1v2. We'll be on air just after 7:15. Yeah. Stick around for that one. Should be a cracker.
Yeah. And, you know, Paula also, a former player, played for a long time.
For Broady. The whole Broady club. So
a very strong defender. Played with Vicky Wilson for a long time.
A great intercept there by O'Brien. She's had some match, few loose feeds, but she has been instrumental in running that offensive end for the Jets.
Yeah.
Does a lot of work defensively.
She does. Steph, well, tonight she's probably let go of a few more balls than she normally would. Is usually known for her consistency. Another player that's come through the underage programs in Queensland.
Country girl too, I believe, like Warwick, wasn't it?
Yes, she came through the Darling Downs initially. She's been a training partner with the Sunshine Coast Lightning last year, which is a great opportunity for her to continue to develop her game. And while she's been playing netball at those levels for a very long time, still quite young herself.
And gets another intercept on cue. No curse this time. So Benjamin hits the floor hard.
It was interesting. It looked like there might have been a little helping hand, but the umpire did leave it go.
And Charlie Bell makes no mistake. She gets it to 42 for the Jets. Margin of 20, biggest lead of the game. Looks like we're being joined by the who's who of Australian men's netball. Junior Levy's watching, Guy Keane watching. So we're going global.
Fantastic proponents within the men's game.
Indeed, two of the former Australian captains. Junior now representing New Zealand. And of course, as a 2020 next year is the World Cup for men's netball. Timeout Bull Sharks. Karen Top, desperate times. Margin of 21.
Yeah, it is getting harder now when the scoreline's starting to blow out. The challenge as a coach and for the players is how do you continue to keep playing? How do you keep looking for ways to get back on track and pull the margin back?
So Tracy Dreens-Fraser obviously probably now has one eye on the next week. So what is she telling her players?
I think those elements that we've been talking about around getting on the circle edge, being able to feed the two tall shooters, they've been working particularly well for them. And, you know, whichever opponent they play, if they're in the prelim next week, they'll need that to be on song to then challenge to go through the grand final.
So go through it. Like next week is like a grand final for both the teams that'll be in it.
Yeah. So
do you do the normal training? Do you change your setup, or is it business as usual? Do you have pizzas on Tuesday night, or what would you do going into a prelim final?
For the majority of teams, I would be thinking, unless there's some issues around workloads, you'd still be wanting to do what you've been doing. keep things fairly consistent. As you're aware, most players prefer consistency.
Indeed they do. So the Sharks is underway. It's at 11-3 quarter at the moment to the Jets. Total domination, and that girl O'Brien that we were talking about grabs another intercept. Hams has come back on for the Jets. She's now gone back to centre.
It also looks like they've made to Jetta Gaffer in centre. Peter Coles is back on at wing defence.
The changes are coming thick and fast for the Sharkies as they try and find that formula.
Yeah. It's interesting that the Jets tonight, that they started with Lucy, Benjamin at goal shooter and Rosie Baker at goal attack, so that more mobile attacking circle that they'd started the season with. Charlie Bell, this is her first year in the top team, and she's been continuing to work on her consistency and being able to handle that pressure that comes.
And she's been very consistent tonight. She's 8 from 8 this quarter.
Absolutely.
And Benjamin 5 from 5, so they've scored 14 unanswered goals. Sorry, 6 from 6 for Benjamin now, 14 unanswered goals without a miss. That's pretty impressive. And let's not forget, if they do miss, they're both tall young lasses, can probably pull the ball in.
They can. Just it not quite coming together on that occasion for Charlie. She had a great drive along the base and a really nice roll. Not quite able to stay on her feet.
Hands in from Hams.
Yeah. The Jets at the moment are just finding ways to keep turning the balls over at the moment.
They seem to be dominating right across the court.
Yeah. Looks like the Sharks have also brought Olivia Dykstra into goalkeeper. Olivia does play shooter as well, so I think they're looking to see if her height can combat Charlie's at this point in time. When the margins as it is, they may as well keep trying and seeing what else they can do.
It's a 25 margin at present.
Yeah.
They're on a 15-3 to run to start this championship quarter.
And hats off to the Jets, because their defensive pressure throughout this game just has not wavered.
Berger gets it now. It was quite an effort to get it into her.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it looks like the Jets might be taking some opportunities to get some more of their players on court as well.
Benjamin drives beautifully. Bell finishes. So working hard. Sharks it's just not working for them offensively at the moment. They're either both out or both in. And now you can throw a blanket over all of them. You'd have to say the offensive end's not terribly balanced at present.
Yeah, and again, most of that's being caused by the Jets being so tough in their defensive pressure at this point in time. Leah not quite sure which was the grounded foot on that occasion. That was a really nice offload, and like I said, in this situation, the challenge is to keep the players on track while the game might not be playing out the way that they intended at this point in time. You still want to keep working hard, keep trying, because they'll come up against these opponents at some point in the future.
So Benjamin's been hitting the floor a bit tonight. She's checking out the wood, making sure it's all okay, but it's about the fourth time she's hit the deck.
Thankfully, on each occasion, she's been getting up, so that's been good.
She does.
So the Jets have done that. They've brought Ashlyn Garrett into goalkeeper, so another one of those really tall players who's continuing to build and develop her game.
O'Brien, a beautiful drive across the circle. Fires it into Bell. She gets it. A la Gretel Tipple. Can't make sure of the shot, but gets hands over. And the transition game for the Bull Sharks non-existent at the moment, Karen Tupp.
Yeah, just they're getting caught quite flat at the moment, so it's going back to some of those basics. How do they balance the court up? How do they work off one another to time those drives into space? So it doesn't matter what level of game we're playing, you still need to just keep working on those basics of court balance.
So Garrett gets her hands on the ball early. She's only just come on. But Oxenford doesn't quit at any stage. Bell with it now.
Yeah, Kristen Oxenford Oxenford.
Great competitor.
Yeah. She's, again, come through all of the underage programs. She's been a training partner with the Lightning, played a fusion. She gives 100% every time she's on court, continues to work hard.
Played a couple of games for the Firebirds when their centre was injured, yeah?
She did.
So, Huey can't get it. Again, Berger. It's not a lot to her, but she competes well and has a ridiculous percentage. So it's very rare to see her miss one.
It's also, though, illustrates that regardless of how good your shooter is or how tall they are, you still need to have all of the players around doing their job and working really hard to be able to take advantage of that player.
There's that height we've been talking about all match. Benjamin missed the shot. Bell picks up the scraps. It's a triple B attack. Bell, Benjamin, and of course Baker. They've done well for the Jets. You could use a lot of cliches here. Flying high like the Jets. Speeding away like the Jets. So
perhaps we'll just concentrate on the netball.
It's got to keep it entertaining, Toppy. It's a show. Logie award-winning TV at the moment. So unfortunately, a turnover again gives the Jets another chance. 3 passes and they're in the goal circle. Bell makes no mistake. They're flowing. Bull Sharks look like the court, Bull Shark net at the moment.
Yes.
And
I try not to encourage you, David.
A 20-7 quarter is exactly what they wanted for the third quarter. And is it time to start planning Mad Monday for the Sharks?
It will be incredibly difficult to come back from this scoreline. I never like to rule anyone out until the game's done.
It's Karen Top, the eternal optimist.
Yes.
The margin 27.
But for these younger players that are out here on this court, it's really important for them how they finish this game off, because it is the last game of the season. You want them to keep working really hard to see if they can find some strategies that at least work sometimes, because they need to still have some confidence to go into the season in 2020.
Well, we were saying, I was in commentary last week, I think I did 2 of the last 3 USC games, and they got blown away at stages, but then they'd lose a quarter by 1 or they'd only lose it by 2, and they're always thereabouts. So you're right, you need to just keep putting in that consistent effort, and you eventually, I hate to say it, it is a learning curve, and you've got to lose a few before you win a few, and this is one of these occasions probably for the Sharks at the moment. And if they can keep this nucleus this side together and keep their imports coming in, next year they can really dominate the comp.
Chrissy Oxenford as their captain is, my understanding, the elder statesman in their team. And
24?
I was going to say, she's only 24 or 25, so,
right.
I think their average age is somewhere between 20 and 22. There's a number of these players that are in the 17s and 19s state teams or as training partners in those teams. So every time that they take the court, they're continuing to learn and develop their game and their craft. When you come up against stronger players like Steph O'Brien, that should challenge you to become better as a player yourself. And it's how do you deal with it? And how do you deal with it if it's not quite coming together? Because regardless of how good you are or how long you've been around, there's games that just don't work.
Indeed. We've got 3 seconds to go. They go long to Berger. She has it ripped out of her hands. Umpire didn't see it. So 22-9 third quarter gives a margin of 54-28. 26 the diff. Jets completely dominant in that quarter. Karen Top.
Yeah, they were. Great attacking, strong in defence. They're continuing to work at a high rate throughout the whole of the game. And that consistency will definitely hold them in good stead.
Well, it's all to play for the Bull Sharks. Will they come back into this match, or will they be planning Mad Monday? All will be revealed when we return from these short break. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for this semi-final match of the HART Sapphire Series for 2019. 3v4, Ipswich Jets versus Bond University Bull Sharks. The scoreline, unfortunately for the Sharks, 54 to the Jets, 28 to the Sharks. That was a 22-9 quarter. My name's Dave Mills. I'm joined in commentary by Netball Queensland coaching guru Karen Toppy. They really put the foot down in that third quarter, the Jets.
Yeah, Jets are playing really consistent, strong netball at this point in time, and the Sharks' challenge is to find ways to match them, to find some solutions in their attacking end, and to be able to put some more defensive pressure on across the court.
Yeah, well, based on the third quarter, 42 out of 45 to the shooter, and 12 out. Sorry, the match stats at this stage. Sorry, my apologies. Combined, the shooters, they've chopped and changed regularly. They've hit 42 out of 45 for 93%, and 12 out of 17 for 71%. Giving them a total of 54 out of 62. Pretty good accuracy for the Jets, and of course they get the boards because they got the height. Interestingly, for the Sharks, Berger again exemplary, 23 out of 25 at 92%. That's a very impressive effort. And combined, their goal attacks are 5 out of 9. So probably not enough work from the Bull Sharks. Goal attack is in volume of shots, and when they get it, probably not the accuracy they're looking for. So areas of improvement. And
Sharks have just, coming back on court for this fourth quarter, they're trying their combinations again to see what they can get working. So Riley Burns has gone back into goal attack with Leah Pewey at wing attack. That is a switch that they make quite often, so we'll be interested to see whether they can get those feeds happening to Siggy so that she can take advantage of it.
So, of course, Burns was, she played the second quarter, started the second quarter, got subbed out, rolling subbed out, at some stage there in the second quarter. I personally thought they looked better when she was in there. But then again, coach knows them better than I do. Yeah, it's that balancing act because while Riley brings a lot more speed and change of direction into the circle, Leah often offers a little bit more stability, and the balancing act is, do you want Riley's speed at wing attack or goal attack? Well, she starts the quarter well. Steph O'Brien's just done such a fantastic job. No matter which defender's been on her, she's been using her feet, getting in front, driving onto the circle edge really hard, and that makes it so much easier to feed those tall shooters that she has on offer. So a turnover here gives the Jets another chance. Great defensive pressure from Leah Woolnough. Sometimes it's not necessarily about taking the intercept directly, but just putting enough pressure on for your opponent to then steal the ball. I was going to say that the whole Jets back end, none of them stand out to me as done an exceptional job, but they've held them to 30, so as a unit they're performing well. I thought Sherlock, did some amazing things, but at the same time didn't look spectacular, what I mean? And Woolnough and Condren have done a great job with Garrett out there, chipping in as well. To me, they've just worked really effectively as a unit. Bridie Condren, I do think, has been outstanding on Siggy Berger with her footwork and her positioning to shut the spaces down. They've spoken, or they're communicating in some way down there because I think they've really worked well as the defensive unit to shut the spaces down. So they have, and not forgetting their centre, of course, Ham. She's done a good job as well. So and quite often the Sharks have been forced to go back, and that's usually a telltale sign that the defence is working well. Burns uses the speed there and draws the foul. Of course, Hosh has gone to wing defence now as well. She played some centre in the second quarter. Yeah, we saw. We saw just before, that the Sharks were trying to swing the ball across the circle, and Michaela Hosh, with her extra height, was able to pick that ball off and take it down court. Long ball in gets deflected away. It'll be interesting to see, as a coach now, even though they're up by a long way, you still want them to be playing efficient netball. It was great work from Peter Coles then to take that front position and get that turnover for the Sharks. So now their challenge is, how do they balance the court up so that they can bring it down more effectively? It's a great tussle happening between Steph O'Brien and Peter Coles at the moment. So O'Brien thought she had that one. The umpy thought something different. Peter Coles is another player that's been in
the state league competitions for a long time. Again,
there's not much. Tiny little thing. It goes like a jackrabbit though. Got some pace.
Peter started her career as a goalkeeper. She has an amazing vertical leap, and then over time has transitioned out to wing defence and centre. She does play a pretty mean wing attack, but she hasn't potentially had the opportunities to develop that side of her game over the years, unfortunately.
Well, the game's got taller, so I can see why she had to move into the mid-court.
Yeah.
So, Berger way out of the circle. Now there's no one in. So they find her. She works her way into the goal line. And gets another E. So... And Sharks doing it comfortably. 25 margin. 10.5 to play.
Yeah. Rosie Baker back on for the Jets at goal attack.
Benjamin off.
Yes.
So Bell and Baker.
And I imagine at this point in time it is a really good opportunity for Rosie and Charlie to keep working on their combination in the circle. Some of that we're seeing with the Sharks at the other end of figuring out, who's on the hold, who's on the lead. How do you balance the leads up so that you do have someone at home in the circle?
Indeed. Brian finds the said Baker now. It goes long. Looked lovely off the hand and makes no mistake.
Those are the shots that she wasn't feeling confident with early in the game, so it's nice to see her coming back in and being confident now.
That is true. So, with the clock winding down, we've only got 9 to play. The Jets probably stick around and watch the next game, Toby?
Yeah. You would imagine so. I'm sure that Tracy's done plenty of homework across the season. As you and I know, she's a very organised coach.
Indeed.
She spends a lot of time on her preparation.
Doesn't mind a run either. As in, doesn't want to do them, but doesn't mind you doing them.
Yes.
So, timeout Jets. They're winning the quarter 6-5. Something's not happy with Coach Tracy Jean. She's called them in and wants to have a quick chat. And the timeouts, Toppy, are they 2 minutes, 90 seconds?
Usually the tactical timeouts are 90 seconds.
90 seconds?
We know with the SSN that 90 seconds is mandatory, and part of that is around that the television goes to an ad break during that point in time. So it's a good opportunity for coaches in the tactical timeouts, as we spoke about earlier, just to either reinforce some of our key game plans or to change things up a little bit if it's not quite working.
So, Tracy, not terribly animated, but she is being very direct. Condon's coming off.
So with this margin, it's a good opportunity for her to continue to just work on some different combinations and see what they want to take into the finals next week.
Of course, don't forget, we have another match on our broadcast today. That of course, is the 1v2 match. Winner straight through the grand final. Losers back next week for the prelim. We'll be playing, I think I can call it, we'll be playing the Jets next week. That final is between the Cougars and the Wildcats. The undefeated Cougars up against the second place Wildcats. Did the Wildcats game last week. Looked pretty impressive at times.
Yes.
So hopefully we have a nice close one there and we see some quality netball.
Yeah. I'm going to be interested as the season draws to end in our Katie Walker MVP award.
Oh, Katie Walker's got to win it, hasn't it?
Well,
it's named after her.
She's certainly put in some strong claims as the season has gone on.
She's a Ferrari.
Yes, as you mentioned. Certainly that award is sponsored by Legassic, and the winner of the award gets an amazing sapphire as part of their prize. And there's been some fantastic performances across the season, I think, and lots of people putting their hand up to win that MVP this season.
It's definitely a hard one to judge, that one.
So Jets have made a couple more changes with those rolling subs, with Ashlyn Garrett coming back into goalkeeper and Bridie Condren having a run out at goal defence where we don't often see her.
So at any stage, as a coach, you think about putting whoever you consider your superstar on Cottonmore? You've got 2 more big games coming up.
It's always a balancing act we know that, injuries can happen at any point in time, and you want to look after people. But if we put them in cotton wool, or if we're trying to be too careful, that's often when the injuries occur.
True that. So
everyone takes a risk every time that they step on court. Preparation, we can prepare and we can plan as much as possible to minimise the risks.
Berger being called again there. That's the third time she's been called for something. Pushing off, maybe?
Yeah, when she's setting up, it does look like sometimes that she raises her arm as she moves away from the player. Fantastic work. Peter Coles is so good at doing that. She has eyes to the ball, she reads it, and with her speed and that vertical leap that she has, looks amazing when she gets the timing.
So Berger gets another run, her 7th of the quarter. And the Sharks leading this quarter 8-7. Haven't seen them lead a quarter for the entire match, so finishing the season well.
And to me, with Peter taking that fantastic intercept, however, that came about because the Jets had stopped on their drive. So at this point in the match, you want your players to just keep doing what's working for them, and that's been around having strong leads to the ball.
Great intercept there.
Brodie Condren showing her value at coming out and playing some goal defence. Sometimes with our taller players, we're not always game to give them a run.
And Baker gives her the reward. The Jets now were leading the quarter 9-8. Great to see the Sharks pull a quarter off here.
Yeah.
But Bell,
just for their own self-belief, to actually have a really tight quarter to finish the game would be awesome.
It would indeed. Oxenford digging deep, finds Burns. And I'm telling you, she looks impressive at GA. To me, she's been the pick of their GAs. But coach prefers her in the midcourt.
Well, it's that challenge for all of us as coaches when we're working with our players around how they, or what position are they playing, and then what's a benefit for them when they're at the next level.
Indeed. So, loose pass.
So certainly when she's at Nationals, and Riley was TID this year.
Talent identification for the viewers at home that may not know what a TID is.
Oh, yes. Thank you for the clarification.
TID?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she did go to the under-17s national camp this year, and she is in that program more in the midcourt.
Stridham picks herself up off the floor. She has not stopped trying this game. Oh, nearly had an intercept for me, but no.
For me, Stridham's been one of the standout players for the Sharks for quite some time. As I mentioned earlier in the telecast, I thought that, just her work rate has been awesome. It's, something for younger players to take on board, that as a defence, you just need to keep working, keep moving your feet, keep your hands up over every ball. It's very rare that the goal attack's been uncontested throughout this game.
Berger again gets another goal. And the Jets just in total control at present. Starting to play a little bit of showtime.
Well, Charlie and Rosie haven't necessarily been on court a lot together in games. They may do that in training. So there's always...
Doesn't look like they don't know what they're doing. So
on that occasion it worked.
That was brilliant.
which was fantastic. And, it's an area of Charlie's game that she's also worked on, that she's had to work on her movement, her footwork, being able to take the drive rather than just stand and rely on her height.
Dish there from Burns gives Berger another one. That's her 9th for the quarter. Oh, sorry, 8 out of 9 that is. So shooting at 89% for the quarter. We'll have the match stats at the end. She's been the form shooter that I've seen this tournament.
one of those rare plays that didn't quite come off for Steph O'Brien there. And it's good to see that the Sharks are then getting really quickly into their attack. As we said, Kristen Oxon is still driving really hard, wanting to urge her team on towards finishing this quarter on par.
So 3 minutes to go. Sharks down by 28. You'd say fourth place in this competition pretty successful for the Sharks?
Yeah.
Maybe going in, people didn't think they'd finish that high?
No, particularly with the youth that they have across this team. Being the youngest team, it was anticipated that they might have some challenges, and they did find it tough going early in the season. Things changed a lot for them with Siggy Berger coming in because they had, a strong shooting on the end of their attacking moves. Probably just tonight, the differences in experience between the two teams is shown, I think.
Indeed. So Baker gets another one. Who knows what Coach Tracy Jeans-Fraser will do next week. She started with Baker and Benjamin.
Well, I really think
seems to be working on any combination she chooses.
Yeah, I think as this game's continued, that Charlie Bell's really putting her hand up and saying, I deserve to start.
She does. I did think Benjamin was definitely on song tonight.
Lucy's had an outstanding game, I thought. She's was strong in her positioning when she was on at goal shooter, and then when she came on at goal attack, offered a great deal of movement outside the circle and really was feeding Charlie Bell particularly well tonight.
So they cracked 70. That's a big margin, particularly in a semi-final. The last two times these two teams met, the scores were nowhere near that.
No, it is good to see that in this quarter, Jets are ahead 16-15 at the moment. So the Sharks have done what I would have asked in that they've really been continuing to work on.
Brilliant play there
attack.
From O'Brien to Baker to Bell.
It's been that speed of ball that the Jets have had tonight that the Sharks have really struggled with.
So the Sharks need to score here. They can't. Great intercept again. Transition time for the Jets. They've done this a lot. They've had 6 turnovers this quarter and converted 5. This could be their 7th.
Kristen Oxon still trying to get an intercept with the last 30 seconds of the game.
Forever the competitor.
She is.
Bell, she's a long way out. Cops one for troubles from Houston. And Bell, happy with that, jumps around. Baker's happy, they want one more. And Stridham says, not today. And with inside 3 seconds, goes to Bell. And she gets the foul. There's a contact called, siren's gone. Will this make it a neat 30? I said 27. I wasn't far from it. And the Jets, with that goal to Bell, wrap up the game. They win that quarter 19-15. Margin 73-43. They actually scored 41 for the second half, which in anyone's netball, that's a lot of goals.
It is.
Karen Top, it's good night for the Sharks, but they dug as deep as they could for the entire game.
Mm-hmm. They did, and it was good to see them continue working right to the very end of that game. Lots of positives, I think, from their season this year for such a young team who are still growing and developing in their game of netball.
It was an okay start. They hung tough till half-time, but the third quarter, 22-9 to the Jets. That's where the game was won. Yeah,
the Jets strong in attack, good combinations, used their experience well. Strong defensive pressure across the court for the entire game, and looked like they executed their plans.
And losing Shanae Grant did not help the Bull Sharks' cause.
No, Shanae's such an experienced player. She's been in the Fusion. She's a training partner with the Firebirds. To lose her for the game for the Bull Sharks is a really tough thing.
And we can see in the pictures in the background there, she is struggling a little bit. Can't even get up for the team huddle.
Yeah.
So.
And she's such a strong competitor, Shanae. She'll be quite upset, not only with the injury, but about not being out there on court with her teammates.
So the stats for the match, now we haven't got the individual breakdown, but the Ipswich Jets goal shooters, which was Bell and Benjamin for the majority of the match, 54 out of 57 at 95%. Incredible stat.
That's outstanding in a semi-final.
And then the goal attack for the Jets combined again. That was mainly through Baker and Benjamin. She was the only one I think played both spots. They hit 19 out of 26. So that was pretty impressive effort for them, giving them 73. That's right, 73 out of 83 for 88% for the match. Berger again for the Bond Uni Bull Sharks, superb, 34 out of 37, another 90% game. I've commentated her 3 times. She's been 93, 92 and 92. Like, class act.
She, absolutely. We know that she's a class act. She's been part of the South African team at the World Cup. She's a strong, experienced shooter. She's been putting that on show as part of our HART Sapphire series, which has been fantastic and great for those young players around her to learn from her as well.
Indeed, and Baker, when she went to GA, actually helped the combined GA stats. They got to 9 out of 13 for 69%. The big stat for me, conversion turnovers. Jets, they've created 34 turnovers and scaringly scored off 32 of them, 94%.
Oh.
That's the highest I've seen for this tournament.
Yeah, as a coach, you have to be 100% happy with that statistic. But what goes into it, as in the work rates of the players to be able to do that.
You tap in there a conversion percentage of 86%, and that means plenty of ball and plenty of goals, and hence we have a 30-goal win to the Jets. So that wraps up the 3v4 game, the knockout semi-final for the HART Sapphire Series for 2019. The Bond Uni Bull Sharks, they dug as hard as they could. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough today. The Jets get the biscuits, 73 to 43. We go off air for a little while. We come back around 7:15 for the big one, 1v2, Cougars versus Wildcats. My name's Dave Mills. I've been joined in commentary by Karen Top. We'll be back in about 25 minutes. Bye.